Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, and I'm super excited to be bringing you another video where I make journaling cards out of the scraps from one of my kits. So I have made two layouts and one pocket spread out of my January Wild Hare Petite kit. So I have a bunch of little cut aparts and some random paper scraps left to work with, and I decided that I wanted to make some journaling cards pre-made so that I would have some for future project life layouts already ready, so that it would be super fun and easy to just stick them in a pocket and have them already done with that like touch of handmade, like you spent time on it. Because when I work on my project life, I tend to want to get it done, and so I don't always spend a lot of time being super creative with the cards and things like that, because I just, want to get it done at that point, because project life spreads take a long time. So if I make some of these in advance, then I will have that super cute, I spent time on this and I really, went all out feel, without having to commit too much time when I'm actually doing my project life spread. Plus, on top of that, sometimes I just feel like getting a little bit crafty and using up some of my product without worrying about pictures and working on a full spread. So this is a really good way to get out some of my craftiness without, stressing myself out too much. So I am going to end up doing 3 4x6 cards and 3 3x4 cards out of this batch of stuff, and you can see them all. I've started them and I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between all of them. I don't really work on one at a time. I don't do that when I do my project life either. I kind of bounce back and forth between all of my cards, so it makes sense that when I'm making cards like this that I would work that way as well. So with my 4x6 cards, I tend to either use them as introduction cards to my spreads or as journaling cards. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on with these cards, these 4x6 cards, as I build them. So that one with the blue background, the blue floral background, you can see that I put a label on it for the date for my intro card to my spread, and I did that with this hello card as well. And then the one up in the top right there has a big old space for journaling that I haven't put together yet, but that was the thought behind that card. So I'm just kind of using what I have in the kit and trying to build some fun cards out of my leftovers, basically. And then with Project Life, I try not to add too much texture, so chipboard and things like that, because if you scrapbook Project Life, you know that the albums tend to get really thick, especially if you start using really thick embellishments. So I'm kind of trying to stay as flat as possible with my embellishments, so that I don't add too much texture to my spreads when I end up adding these cards in. So I'm using a lot of the cut aparts and a lot of the die cuts instead of the chipboard accents that I have there. Although I did use that one chipboard Love This on that top card right there, because I just thought it fit perfectly and it was so cute. So I decided to add paper strips to this card in the background behind that tag. And I love how the Dear Lizzie and the Amy Tangerine and the Chamel lines all worked really well together this last product release, and that's a lot of the product that I'm working with for this Wild Hare kit. So everything's kind of coordinating really easily, even though they're from different lines, and I really enjoy that because it made some really cute, colorful cards really easily. And you know I love color in my everything, all of my scrapbooking. I am not a neutral scrapbooker. I love my color. So I'm just fussy cutting out this scallop journaling block, and it's a little bit bigger than the 4x6 card, so I'm going to end up trimming off that bottom piece. But first I'm gonna have to rearrange everything because I'm not loving the way that this is looking. So I notched that into, or I'm going to notch that into a banner because I think it needs to hang, because I didn't love the just like the squared offness of it. Too much square going on. There we go. Now I think I want it to be underneath that camera, and that works a lot better for me. Trying to find some other things to put on here. I think I'm gonna add a chipboard heart here, so you can see I'm bouncing back and forth. One of the issues that I had, well, it wasn't really an issue, but like one of the things that I came up against when I was making these cards was that a lot of the embellishments that I had left over were words. And so I needed to pull out what few icons I did have so that the whole like card wouldn't be just a bunch of word strips. So I cut out that camera, and I cut out the little owl, and I used the hashtag, and those kind of balance out the whole card situation and make them not all just like a bunch of word strips, and give the cards just a little bit more visual interest than it would be if it was just a bunch of words. So that's always something to think about when you're trying to achieve balance in your design, is not using too many words or too many icons and having a good mix of both. So I'm going to take these yellow stars, and I'm just going to do them in a half circle around this half circle. And I really like the way that that yellow played off of the chipboard. And I'm going to add a yay. And I'm just kind of testing out some other stuff, but I think I'm just about done here. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. Thank you.